So hello everyone, hi. So in this one we are going to talk about some advanced topic of TanStack, of use query basically. So let me just show you the topics which I will be covering up here. So first is the parallel queries and dependent queries, which I will be going to talk about, and then we are going to talk about something called initial data and query placeholder data. Okay, so I think it's best to start from the bottom. So let me just start. What is this initial and query, and what is this placeholder query data? Okay, so if I show you my code here, okay, so by default to every query which you see, right, you can always provide what I say initial data. So if I show you my initial data, you can just pass it and just pass the initial data. So I will be coming to placeholder also, no need to worry. But yeah, so and before that I will also be trying to loading the query client, just to show you how both are different. Query client is to use query client. So this is a hook which is provided from TanStack itself, and I will be logging in it. So what I will be doing is, before I log this, I will be doing a console.log query client, and I will be getting the current state, get query. Okay, we can get the query cache. Actually, I just wanted to show you something. Okay, so we have done this. Now what we do is, let's go back to our React app. So what I wanted to show here, whenever you provide an initial data, right, something, so if I go and reload it, and I've set my network to fast 3G, so whatever initial data which we provide, right, it will be shown. But now the problem, like, if as you can see, we had provided this, but now the problem is, what it comes here is, these data are persisted in the cache. So if I show you this, and if I show you the queries map, I think profile, I think we are doing for the profile, right, and then if I show you the cache, all this data, right, which I am showing you, goes into the cache. So I think it's quite deep, but all this data, right, whatever we show you, it actually goes into the cache. So I will just let you, like, I will just suggest you to go and dig deep into it, because currently even I am finding it difficult. But yeah, okay, see, as you can see, initial data, see, so these data are getting cached, right, so it's under queries. So our first query which I showed you, right, and inside the other one we are not having any data, initial data. So these data are getting initially cache here. Okay, but if you don't want to do that, which I will suggest it, what you do is, instead of writing an initial data, you just write placeholder data. It does the same, okay, but here it doesn't set the, what I say, this one, initial data. In fact, if I reload it right now, as you can see, come on, I make it fast, I think I'm okay, anyway, okay, so if I go here, we don't get any initial data for the profile. Initial data, it's null, so we don't get any data here, and we get what we needed. So this was about the, what I say, initial query and placeholder data. Now let's talk about dependent queries. Okay, so dependent queries are the ones, let's say you want a query to run only once you have a query which is already provided the data. Okay, so let's say our user query, right, is our team's query is dependent upon user query. So for that we have a something called enabled. Okay, so what this enable does is, it basically enables or disables the query. So if I make it to false, this will not run. Okay, but if you want to run only once we have some data on use query, you can write something like this. So once the use query has data, run this. Now I can show you very quick of this also. I just keep it aside. So I've kept my network here. Now what I do is, I go back here. Now you will see, first the users is loaded, comments, and then the profile gets loaded. I think I'm not able to show you again. So what I do is, comments and profile, right, I make it too slow. Okay, and now let me just reload it. first the profile, first the comments. Did you saw that? Once this will load, then only this will load. Wait a minute, but I think I'm still not seeing what I wanted. So fetch team, fetch users is provided. So okay, see, now the thing is why this is getting loaded like this is right. Fetch team is anyway dependent upon user query, but user query is already have some data. I will just try to remove it, and now I will try to show you again. So I will try to go to network tabs and try to reload it. So okay, I think I saw something. Let's make it quite fast, little fast. So as soon as the comments loaded, then only the profile get loaded. So I think this was due to this placeholder rise, which was causing the issue. So I don't know this is the reason or not, but yeah, for me that worked. But anyway, so be aware of initial or placeholder queries whenever this type of issue occurs. But yeah, so we have covered our dependent queries. Now let's talk something about parallel queries. So parallel queries are nothing but once the two queries are loading. Okay, like let's say these two queries are loading at the on the mount itself. But let's say if you have a pagination type of issue, let's say you want to fetch all the users of id 1 and 2 and 3 at once on an initial load. So how will you do that? So instead of writing all of that one by one, so use query by default provides a very nice way to doing that. That is called this one, use queries. Okay, so to do that, what we do is we call something called const fetch I will name it as all user query. That will be equals to this. So basically it accepts something called queries, okay, which returns two things. 8 minute, I think I've written something wrong. So 8 minutes. So this queries which we have shown, right? Okay, so this basically so this user query which we see, right, it basically has a lot of like it basically returns an array of what I say, array of objects of the array of objects of the data for each of the queries which we have. So to show that what we need from here is, it actually instead of one object, I just checked, I was wrong, so sorry for that. We basically let's say we have an user of id 1 and 2, and then we write a map. Okay, and on this map what we, let's say we have an id. Okay, so what we do here is we return and use query body. So when I say use query, it will contain something called query key, right? So query key of what? Of the user and the id. Okay, and the query function. So query function will be what? Query function will be nothing but fetch user by id, and we will be passing the id. Okay, so by default if you write like this, then also the id will be get passed to this. Okay, like this. I have to write actually at the top, not here. Okay, so yeah, so once you have written like this, now fetch user by id, it will pass to the post we have and the slash and the id. So this id we will be getting to here. Okay, and I just make it like this and this. Now what I wanted to show here, this will work exactly the same how it was working previously. So if I make it no throttling, you will just see all the both have been loaded. So if I just do a reload, let's see. I think by doing this again and again, I think my Chrome browser sometime it works strange. Okay, all user query. So I think I forgot to do something, that is I just want to return it also, console.log. I just want to show you the response. So it will anyway give the response of array. Okay, so let's see what error we have. User's query is not defined. Okay, user's query, what this user query is, but okay, let's see. Okay, so it says user queries. Just check user query is not defined and home JSR. Okay, let's see why it shows like this. I think I missed something. I don't know, like, why is this reference to user query home is not defined. Okay, I got it. So sorry. So let's keep it like this. Guys, sometimes it's difficult for me also to show something very fast, trying to make video shorts, but as usual, yep. Anyway, so what I wanted to show you, as you can see, we got all the data, and inside each we have something called data. And yeah, if it is not returning, okay, so why it's not returning is because the fetch user by data which we have passed should be a function here. Okay, or if you want to write like this, it should be like this. Okay, sorry, I forgot to mention. Okay, if you want to write like that, okay, now it will be passing the data. See, we got the data. Okay, but if you are writing like this, guys, like this, which I showed you, you have to pass it inside the ID, then only you will get the data. See, okay, so that's it for today video, guys. Let's talk in another video, and let's go deep dive into some other topics. Thank you, guys. Bye.